Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Sox on Tap.
Tony, my first reaction is just fuck yes, let's go.
Sox versus the Twins. That's where it all starts. Because it all starts taking care of business in-house in the Central Division.
That's right, I'm a meatball.
You got to bring that top button swag, baby.
It is always great to beat the Cubs.
And I'm a homer, so I always say they're gonna.
Dallas Keuchel Lansing got some beards that you should be afraid of.
What everybody said when he gets out there, it's me versus the other guy, and I'm going to beat him. So I just love that mentality. It's cool and fucking tough.
Steve, would you say that Tony is mad online?
I would definitely say that.
The White Sox winner.
Hello, White Sox fans, and happy Sunday fun day. Welcome into the Sox on Tap postgame show. White Sox sweep the Rangers with an 8-4 victory here on Sunday. Tony, I love a good sweep.
Love a good sweep too, Johnny. It's great to be talking about one here early on in this 2021 season. How you feeling, buddy?
Hey, I'm feeling great because, the White Sox are kind of creating some distance from that 500 mark that was so elusive for so long. So we had a good time out at the ballpark on Saturday, all of us in attendance, and a lot of the on-tap guys, saw a lot of people from Sox Twitter. So that was fun. Still feeling some good vibes from that. And obviously a win today. And Michael Kopech looking really good, man.
Yeah, he did, Johnny. And, a little bit of a late news break that Michael Kopech would be starting this one after Lucas Giolito had a little incident with a glass bottle. We'll talk about that one a little bit. But, man, Kopech looked fucking dominant today.
Yeah, no, he absolutely did. So we'll get into what his performance entailed here, along with plenty of runs. That's the name of the show. More runs, more fun. It's not all going to be about the bats, obviously, because there were some excellent pitching performances as well. But we'll get into all of it, everything that happened today. So make sure you're going to ontapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. You can follow us on Twitter at Sox on Tap and at OnTapSportsNet. If you enjoy the podcast, go subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen. And as always, go to Grandstand for all of your White Sox merchandising needs, located right by the ballpark. You can shop online at grandstandsox.com and follow them on social media at Grandstand Sox. So, Tony, setting this one up, like you mentioned, Michael Kopech, kind of a little spot start once again here, like you made last Sunday in the second game of that Boston doubleheader. You mentioned the reasoning for it. Lucas Giolito, a little cut, so he's just pushed back, a couple days here, because they're off Monday, so he will be starting Tuesday, but Kopech here in today, and he was friggin' dialed in from the start, man.
Yeah, you said it, man. Dialed in from the start. It just, his game, Johnny, has been so impressive out of the bullpen early on this season, and I think we talked about this a lot coming in here. Who's your guy that's going to step up when somebody goes down in this rotation? I know you've wanted it to be Michael Kopech. I think I wanted it to be Michael Kopech. He's making a really hard case to stick him back in the bullpen at this point with this type of stuff that he's delivered. The fastball command has looked excellent. He's able to miss bats at just an alarming rate. It's really impressive to watch. I think, Ozzie Guillen was talking about it on the postgame show that he's the best pitcher on the staff, and there's a damn case to be made that his stuff is the best out of anybody on this White Sox staff. And that's no disrespect to Lance Lynn. That's no disrespect to Lucas Giolito or the guy that threw a no-hitter this year already, and Carlos Rodon. Michael Kopech. The stuff, Johnny, it's too electric. It's too electric to not put him in the starting rotation at this point in time. I mean, look what he did today. And he went a little bit over 80 pitches when the most he's thrown so far this year is 40. I mean, hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us just stretching him out like this, but damn, dude, I am absolutely ready to see him every 5 fucking days just shoving like this.
Yeah, and I mean, it's hard not to be excited about it when you see performances like today. And obviously you mentioned his work out of the bullpen earlier in the season. So I would agree that, you can make an argument that it is the best there. I still think Lucas Giolito will get, back to his normal self after a few more starts. And that'll be like kind of Kopech too, but a good, maybe more 1A. That would be the best way to put it there. So I could definitely see that, but it was strong from him today. Hey, 10 strikeouts. So that's always cool. Double-digit strikeouts are cool and tough, Tony. Other than that, he had command too, because he's not walking guys. So that is huge. No walks on the day to go with those 10 strikeouts. That makes for a good ratio there. And through the first 8 of 9 of the outs he recorded through the first 3 were strikeouts, and 10 of 12 through the first 4. That's just some dominating stuff, like you mentioned.
Yeah, dude, absolutely dominating. I think what was most impressive with Michael Kopech, this early on is, he's transitioned roles already once, and he has not missed a beat. Obviously, he made the one kind of spot start bullpen type thing going on here, but this one was a real test. I know they wanted him to go give him about 3 innings today, and he forces Tony La Russa's hand to go as deep as he did in the ball game. You knew that they were coming in today with a plan. They had a limited bullpen, having to use a bunch of guys yesterday. I know you've got the off day coming up tomorrow. You can get some of these guys some rest. But Michael Kopech just taking it into his own hands and forcing the White Sox coaching staff to let him stay in this game. I think that speaks volumes to the type of gamer this kid is.
Yeah, I absolutely. I mean, this guy, you've seen just the kind of the mentality, the body language, the kind of, stone cold killer is what he looks like out there. Someone made a comment today that he's not like sweating as much as, he did. Granted, it was a colder day out today, but, usually in the past, it seemed like there could be some nerves there when he was still in his younger days. But just dominating stuff today. We mentioned all the figures there. Only blemish was a solo shot home run that he allowed. So let's get into some of the scoring. The White Sox would get on the board first, Tony. And this is in the bottom of the first. Always good to see that. Anderson gets on. It's a party starter with the walk. Eaton lined into double play. And then Moncada walks and Abreu comes up. 2-run home run here. Good to see Pito get going.
Yeah, Johnny, the game yesterday that we were all at, a little quiet offensively. So it was nice to see in the first inning a little bit of, my favorite thing, and that's fireworks. Jose Abreu, you can't pitch him right there. You cannot go low like that. He's going to take that thing out of the ballpark. I like seeing Jose Abreu's bat wake up. Obviously, it's still really early in the season. We've seen some putrid Aprils out of Jose Abreu. And this one, it hasn't been great so far. I think the strikeout rate is a little way too high than what we like for Jose Abreu. I was talking to you, Friday, about Jose Abreu and the strikeouts and just some digging I did with some stats. Up until this point in 2019, the strikeouts were matching 25-25, I believe, going into Friday's ball game. And that gave me a little bit, maybe a little bit calmer, Johnny. And just for Jose Abreu, we know how he heats up as the year goes on. This is a cold day in Chicago, and he's putting one out. That's good signs, Johnny. Those are good signs that Jose Abreu is going to start doing some damage.
Yeah, I love the way that he did it, too. He was in golf fashion, Tony. That was a low iron shot there. He went down, got it. It was a cutter low in the zone, and he made him pay. Took it out to left field, kind of a cut that didn't have a whole lot of action on it, kind of similar to the fastball velocity for Arihara there. So, good to see Pito adjust to that and get it out, especially because the White Sox forced, because there would be a couple of walks after this. They wouldn't get any more after that Pito home run, but they forced 40 pitches from the guy in the first inning. That's always good. You get into it, and you're getting into their bullpen earlier. That's what that means. So I think we've been on the flip side of that too much with seeing Dylan Cease early innings that are just like ridiculously astronomical in the pitch count. So let's move on to the top of the second. That is where the lone blemish for Kopech would come. The Dahl 1-out solo shot, but then he follows that up with some strikeouts. So getting back to normal, Michael Kopech after that little run that the Rangers got. 2-1 Sox at this point. We go into the bottom of the second. Sox would tack on more. This is a nice little inning. Tony Madrigal leads it off with a single, reaches second on a throwing error there. Tim Anderson, RBI double, makes it 3-1 Sox. Adam Eaton triple. Hey, love triples, Tony. Triples are cool and tough. We had 2 in this game. That made it 4-1 after Moncada flew out. Abreu hits a sac fly to make it 5-1 here. So I like this early scoring, man. Always nice to give your pitcher a cushion here.
Yeah, that's going to be a theme that we're going to talk about on the show as the White Sox start to win more ball games. Johnny is starting to give these guys some leads. We've seen this White Sox pitching staff pitch with leads, and each and every single time it's seemingly working out great for these starting pitchers. And one thing that I like about the offense, Johnny, when it's moving like this, there's a lot of guys in here that, just can get on base, that start to move that line a little bit. Guys like Nick Madrigal, Adam Eaton, Tim Anderson, all in a row there. Those are 3 guys that can hit doubles, triples, get on base, and set the table. Man, I love that bottom of the order, the way it rolls over into the top when you've got some guys like, Luis Robert, Yohan Moncada, and Jose Abreu. Just there doesn't feel, Johnny, like they have those automatic outs that we're so used to seeing, those rally killers. Yep. It's a sustainable offense. It can continue to move. It's the definition of don't stop now, boys. And I fucking love it because this is how they're going to score these runs. It's not going to be as reliant on the home run when you have that bottom top of the order really rolling the way it is right now. Outside of yesterday, Adam Eaton has looked very impressive in that 2 spot. Tim Anderson continues to hit the ball like he has for the past 2-3 years. And, Nick Madrigal's starting to get hot. So you're naming some of these guys right here that can really start to, push some runs across the plate without having to rely on the long ball. And that offense, when it's rolling like this, it's just, it's like a river, dude. It's not stagnant water like we've been used to.
Yeah, and Nicky Sticks is hot. One of the names in there that we talked about, and he's still feeling the vibes from last night's walk-off. Double to the right center gap there that ended that ball game last night and put the White Sox their second win of the series. And then Adam Eaton, like we talked about him, your RBI leader, White Sox RBI leader, Adam Eaton. So love to see that from that.
Your pick to click today.
Yeah, he was my pick to click today. We were Eaton with a triple there. Love to see it. So bottom of the third, Sox attack on a few more. Collins walks, and then after a Larry pop out, wild pitch moved the runners to second and third. Madrigal, 2 RBI triple. Like I mentioned, the triples coming through here. And then after Tim Anderson struck out, Eaton, sack bunt, really heads up play here by Madrigal, Tony. Let's talk about this a little bit because we have ragged on him in the past for some base running issues, but reads the play. Pitcher doesn't really look him back too much, so he's able to get that good jump after the throw goes to first and score on this play.
Yeah, Johnny, I think one of the big things with Nick Madrigal that we've really griped about is a lot of his defense and his awareness on the base paths. And some of that is just, learning at the major league level and getting comfortable with some things. And a little bit of that is also some of the player development issues and things that, we've seen come up here to the major league level that you and I have historically complained about and really thought that could be a hindrance in aspects of this rebuild as a whole. It's nice to see that he is adapted so far. And let's take a step back and remember that Nick Madrigal does not have a full major league season under his belt. He has spent some time on the shelf with injuries last year. And there's been a lot of times where Nick Madrigal has just looked plain awful. I think in just any situation where he's on the base paths. It's great to see him starting to turn that around because Johnny, we played baseball in our lives. Like these are some of the things that he's, had mistakes in are just, heads up baseball plays. And it's good to see him have his head in the game. I think that started to come around when his offense started to come around too. He's starting to show those signs of like why the White Sox actually drafted him, why he can be an everyday major league player. And that's good because not every fourth pick in the draft is going to hit. In the major leagues, not every 4th pick in the draft is going to be a guy that, can break out and really help a team win. We know about drafting in all sports, Johnny. It's not a guarantee just because somebody was picked 4th that they're going to be great. But you're starting to see the Nick Madrigal that you expected to see when the White Sox drafted him. And I think that that's just wonderful news for the White Sox and Sox fans.
Yeah. So, like we talked about kind of the heads up kind of stuff there. I think a big result of this, this is kind of my just speculation, but I think he's just not pressing as hard now. I think he was really hard on himself early on last season and then even early this season. I think he was just putting a little too much pressure on himself. And now he's letting the game come to him. So that's nice. And then obviously I think the offense is a big key to that. When his bat's going, it just helps overall morale for himself. And that translates over into the field. So getting a little more power too in hitting gaps, getting extra base hits, not just singles. I'm sure he still will have his fair share of singles, but he saw a triple today, that double last night, even though the outfielders were playing in, still counts in the box score. That's the extra base hit. So good to see from Nick Madrigal here. Let's move on. Rest of the scoring in this game. Michael Kopech, like we mentioned, 5 innings here today, 10 strikeouts, really strong outing for him. But Jonathan Stever, who's added to the roster here, he comes in for the 6th inning, and it was not his day, man. 4 consecutive singles result in some runs here, and they eventually had to go to Garrett Crochet after the low RBI single to make it 8-2. So, tough one for Jonathan Stever. Won't be the last time we see him, that's for sure, but just definitely wasn't his day. Luckily, Crochet, this is one play maybe we can nag on a little bit, but overall his 3 innings were, for the most part, fairly decent. It was the comebacker. That was a high chopper to him, and he had the time. He could have gotten the guy at first if he had a little more urgency, Tony, but a little lazy on this throw over to first base. What do you think?
Yeah, it's pitcher fielding drills for Garrett Crochet all day tomorrow. That's what it is. We talked about this on this show before. I think I've gone close to saying that Garrett Crochet has the yips when it comes to fielding. We've seen a few plays now where Garrett Crochet plays at the plate, just not able to deliver the ball. Same thing to first base. I don't know if it's just his frame, his build, or if, at the college level, he wasn't, fielding as many balls, but there's just some sort of look where he is uncomfortable, Johnny, fielding a ball and making a baseball play. And he's a taller guy. I don't know if it's just the aspect of having to do something somewhat unnatural for him as a pitcher, but I just feel like as an athlete, Johnny, this is what doesn't make any sense. And I know pitchers are weird, and maybe this is a really old school baseball take coming out right here, but shouldn't you, as an athlete, somebody who's been around baseball the whole time, be able to make some of these plays with a little more consistency? I haven't seen Garrett Crochet field a ball what feels like cleanly at all this year.
Yeah, and you talk about some of the yips. You saw him drive that ball into the ground a couple Sundays ago against the Kansas City Royals on a throw home. Granted, that was a little bit quicker of a play, and coming back, it's not the same as throwing to first. But either way, I think the overall point that you make stands there in that he's got to figure it out, and I think repetition will be part of that. Like you said, PFPs all day for Garrett Crochet on Monday is an off day, so hopefully they do get that work in. So
I want Tony La Russa out there, fucking with the fungo bat, just drilling them into the ground. Garrett Crochet on the mound, just for 3 hours. I think it'll be great for the both of them.
Yeah, I think it would be beneficial. So, the little repetition there, and hopefully can work out those kinks there. So, in this inning, it would end up getting to 4 runs up for the Rangers here total. Obviously, 3 in this inning, and that was I mentioned the low RBI single that was with Stever still in. It was Garcia with the RBI ground out, make it 8-3, and then Solak. That was the play that we were just talking about, where Crochet had the play over to first base where the throw wasn't in time there, and then he eventually struck out Holt to end the inning. So that would wrap up all the scoring in this game. But I know we just ragged on Crochet a little bit for some of the fielding and throwing issues there. But overall, I think you got to be happy, Tony, with being able to split 8 innings between Michael Kopech and Garrett Crochet today.
Yeah, that's Johnny. Those are 2 power pitchers, man. Like if you're coming into a baseball game knowing that you have to face Michael Kopech and Garrett Crochet, the bat speed's got to be there. You got to be on everything. Those are 2 guys who have power arms, like I said. I think the combination of the 2 of them being able to eat up those innings is just wonderful. I mean, they're both guys who, came out of, Michael Kopech wasn't here last year. Garrett Crochet came out of nowhere, out of the draft, and is an immediate impact on this roster. Those are 2 young pitchers that are just getting the job done for the White Sox so far this season. I know there's some talk around Garrett Crochet. He's not as electric, I think, as he was last year because, man, I just felt like he was that second power arm to Michael Kopech that was going to be reaching 99, 100 all the time. And I still want to see that velocity get up just a little bit. I think it's going to make him more effective. Maybe he needs to grow a little facial hair, do something to make himself look more intimidating out there. Johnny, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I feel like he looked more intimidating last year. Grow some facial hair, just looks scary, fear the beard type shit, because he does command that respect when he's in there. He's got that lanky delivery. He's a big dude. You should be afraid of him when you're in the batter's box. And those are 2 guys that got the job done today for the White Sox. And you come out with a win in a game where, in essence, you've taken 2 out of 3 in the series. You're going to what is really known as a bullpen day, and they're able to get the job done for you. And you didn't really have to use anybody else up that's really of impact in this pitching staff. I mean, that's great shit, dude. This is how great teams win ball games, Johnny. They find ways to win like this. They get through these down periods. I know we joked about it the other day, like we miss Roz the boss because on days like this, you're going to a guy that you're just hoping to eat some innings for you. And you didn't really have that today. It was guys that are impact players, that young, but impact players getting the job done when you needed them to. And that's just good signs.
Yeah, so I think they tried to do a little bit of innings eating with Jonathan Stever there. Obviously didn't work out, but either way, Garrett Crochet able to help out. A couple comments on Garrett Crochet. One, I think he's so young, I don't know if he can grow a beard of that caliber yet, so that might be an issue for him. And then 2, stop wearing the pants like a jagaloon. Come on, I hate that look, the jogger style look. It's just terrible. I know you guys used to do it, and it's an old school kind of like look, but man, come on, look at your teammates around you. Who else is doing it? No.
Do you want the high socks for Crochet? Like what can we do?
Either go to the top of the spike like normal, or just do the high socks like Rodon if you really want that. That's my suggestions.
I mean, I don't get it, Johnny. Like, there's so many looks for baseball
looks
players.
weird. Just looks weird.
It does look weird, but he's also built weird. He's got this like,
yeah, he is, but
he's built weird, and that's why I think like we need something else to make him look a little more intimidating. Because that arm he's got fire in that thing, and like let's try and figure out how to get Garrett Crochet to look cool and tough while he's doing it. I think that's what we're looking for here.
Yeah, okay, that's a Sox on Tap project here. Maybe we can send some suggestions of the White Sox.
Maybe you need some Summer of George spikes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. That'd be a good look. Because then, if you're showing off those, I think I could deal with the pants if you got some Summer of George designs on your spikes. So I like that idea, Tony. Jose Ruiz would be the other pitcher to come in. He locked it down. 1 walk, 1 strikeout for him. So fairly clean. 9th inning. I was not happy about it flipping over the top. I was like, shit, I don't want any spark of a rally here. But luckily, able to slam the door after that White Sox win. 8-4 White Sox sweep. They've won 4 in a row. I love winning streaks, Tony.
I love winning streaks too, Johnny. It doesn't matter which team we're talking about that we love. Winning streaks are the best thing ever for any sports fan, because there's nothing better, Johnny, than like going through like a period of 3 to 6 days where your team is just absolutely dominating people. We got a whole weekend of that just this weekend. I think it's even better over a weekend, Johnny. I think the beers flow down easier. Yep. Victory beers. We're talking victory beers and consecutive days. There's nothing better. There's nothing better.
And it truly makes Sunday a fun day. Then
it does.
Because you're not like, like if say they had lost today, it's like, sure, you'd be okay with the 2 or 3 from the series. I think it wouldn't be the end of the world, but you would like to have that one, especially, having to go back to work on Monday, the Sunday scaries creeping in are a little extra with a, loss there, but with a win, it kind of eliminates them a little bit. So
don't remind me that it's Sunday. Don't do that.
Little antidote for the Sunday scaries, a nice sweep and a win streak. So love to see it. And on the flip side, I just want to mention this because I put out a tweet from Sox on Tap. The Twins are 2-11 over their last 13. So, hey, keep stacking these wins while they falter and spiral out of control. And I hope they never get back on track. That's not likely. They are going to get back on track, but I'll enjoy it for now.
Well, I mean, if NWI Steve was here, he would tell you that you hate to see that. That's what he would say if he was here. R.I.P. and P.
Yeah. So speaking of NWI Steve, Tony, let's talk a little bit about Saturday. This is the first time that Buzz had got out to the ballpark and you had got out to the ballpark. She and I have been to a couple of games so far this year, but we were all there and we got to go to, you were in the scout seat, so you had a little different plan, went, a little stadium club before the game, had your meal and all that before going in, but we met up at Cork and Carry and it was awesome. Thanks to anyone who came through, Austin Zick, Sam Mendelson, plenty of White Sox Twitter people that were there. And then we kind of all went our separate ways in the ballpark, depending on where we were sitting, but just a great time and a good replacement for a tailgate. It was a lot of fun. Wish could have been there, Tony, but we'll get one soon with you there.
Yeah, we will. My game came together. The game plan came together a little late for me. But I've got to give, the early shout out, the early Sox on Tap shout out to my guy, Jake Trojan, for coming through with some scout seats that he had acquired. Never done that experience before. Got to say, like, overall, I could probably break this one down in the pandemic era White Sox thing. One thing that didn't happen, I didn't actually get to sit in a scout seat during the game due to social distancing protocols, which was fine. We still got the premium liquor bar experience, the pregame meal. The lounge for the scout seats was not open. They kind of replaced that by sending everybody up to the stadium club. So you had to go a little bit farther. Just trying to go through the whole thing. I don't know if anybody who has a listener to the show has done the scout seats before. They promised private bathrooms, did not have private bathrooms. There was just a different experience. There was no Garrett's popcorn for Jake Trojan. He was pretty upset about that. Johnny, you know that Jake loves his Garrett's popcorn, especially since the Garrett's popcorn booth was where we were getting our drinks from. They did not have Garrett's popcorn there. So some ballpark experience things that I think during a regular game would have been a little bit different, would have made it more fun. But the view from behind home plate is second to none. I know Steve was sitting in the vicinity there today, but I'm generally on the sides of the stadium, Johnny, with you, or in the outfield. That's normally where I'm at, is down a foul line. And I don't really get the chance to sit behind home plate and watch these guys play ball. It was a good experience overall. I think that everybody should try that out at some point in time because just the view, the way that you can take in a ball game all over Guaranteed Rate Field is phenomenal. But, I like to try and get different viewpoints throughout the year. I know you do the same thing too, Johnny, but creatures of habit normally, we like our spots throughout the ballpark. So I try and change it up every now and then.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's cool. First game to be back at, man. First time since 2019 for you, because obviously you didn't hit any in that first homestand there. So, definitely fun to be back. That was my third game of the year. So, like I said, a lot of fun. Corking carries before was a blast. We were all kind of, spilled out onto the sidewalk, so we had plenty of room, mingle, interact with everybody, and then, went into the game. I set some nosebleeds on the third baseline, but I was talking about it with my buddy I was sitting with. It's nice, kind of like a bird's eye view, kind of similar to like a hockey style sort of thing where you just see the whole thing. So,
dude, I haven't sat 500 level in probably 5 or 6 years. And I don't know if I want to again, just because I feel like I've been closer and closer all over. But on that same aspect of taking the game in from different perspectives, I hear that like upper deck in those first few rows, especially behind home plate, is a great place to be. I don't know where you were exactly, but like, how's your experience been in the 500 level so far this year?
I mean, it's been fine, but if we could walk around and do, kind of mingle around, that would obviously make everything better. And I would prefer to sit in the 100 level so I can hit all my usual spots, go up to this Revolution Social Lounge, but that shit's not even open right now. So 500 level, it's been fine. And also I'm saving a little money on the tickets. So it's like, those are just naturally a little cheaper than 100 level. So I'm just kind of stacking games wherever I can. Obviously I'd usually have a 40 game, but it's not set in stone with all the COVID restrictions. So I haven't minded it, Tony. It hasn't been too bad. So been able to enjoy the 500 level a little bit.
It's good to know, because I enjoy a Blackhawks game from up top. I feel like you can watch plays develop. You can see things a little bit different for hockey. And I haven't really watched a baseball game that way in a while. So any comments on how the field play is, can like, based off of what you feel like you see from the 100 level in your normal spot down in like 149?
Only complaint with 500 level is just where you're at. We were a little bit further back, and if you're further up in those front few rows, like you were mentioning earlier, it's not a problem. But where we were a little bit further back, just based on where I selected the tickets from and what was available, it was when a foul ball went down that line there. That's about what kind of blocked my view there. So anything going into foul territory. Other than that, it was fine. Complete bird's eye view. So I enjoyed it. Good times, and obviously a White Sox winner. So most important thing at the end of the day. White Sox will continue this homestand, Tony. The Detroit Tigers and Nomar Mazara are coming to town. It'll be Tuesday. There's an off day Monday, and then Tuesday, April 27th, 7:10 p.m. Central Time start on NBC Sports Chicago. White Sox Tigers. The Tigers dropped 3 versus Kansas City over the weekend, but they do have that weird finale Monday, so that'll be their getaway day. They play an afternoon game tomorrow, so maybe I'll scout them out a little bit, watch on the MLB TV. But other than that, the Tigers are, they're at the bottom of the barrel here. When it comes to divisional talk, and they're in the early, think about White Sox 2017, 2018. This is kind of where the Tigers are right now, Tony.
Yeah, these are games that you have to win, and this comes at a great time in a winning streak when you're facing a team like this to just continue this. And for the White Sox, playing at home, you've got that home cooking. This is a very winnable series. Tuesday, it's going to be 80 degrees in Chicago. It's going to be great. This should be a breakout game for Jose Abreu. When we talk about guys that like hitting in warm weather, Jose Abreu comes to mind right away. Like this should be an offensive explosion. I know what that means. We're going to have a 1-run ball game. It's going to be tied into the 6th. It's going to be 0-0. We all know how this plays out. Beautiful weather. Bats should wake up. It's going to be a pitcher's duel.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing about this. And we got Giolito on the mound, so I could see it from that aspect. But we do not know, as of right now, according to MLB.com, do not know who the Tigers starter will be. The old TBD. I think TBD is undefeated. So
TBD is absolutely undefeated. I was talking to my wife the other day, and she was like, "Man, like TBD, like is he on every single team?" I'm like, "Yes, he is." TBD, man. TBD and cash considerations. Two of the greatest fucking baseball players of all time.
Yeah, I gotta love that fantasy baseball heroes. So I gotta love the old TBD. That's what we'll get from the Tigers. So we'll find out more, I would hope, after their series finale with the Kansas City Royals tomorrow. So once again, Lucas Giolito with that sort of cut on his finger bump from today going to Tuesday. I think this will affect him at all.
You know what? I don't know, Johnny. And then one thing that I want to go back to, this is maybe some tinfoil hat time, is that, you get the afternoon start. Lucas Giolito tweets out, not a morning person, gets shelled in fucking Boston. Has anybody seen his finger? Are we sure that this wasn't just Tony La Russa playing 4D chess with everybody and going to Michael Kopech, knowing that Lucas Giolito can't pitch during the day?
I got my alternate theory, and that is that bottle of no-hitter whiskey that he got, he felt so bad about the start on the Monday morning in Boston that he just needed to drown the sorrow. So then when he was doing that, he opened it too aggressively and cut the finger. That's my theory.
I love it. Tinfoil hat time. We're breaking out tinfoil hat time on Sunday Fun Day. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, dude, I could see that. I could see that. His last start was just not great, Bob. I mean, this was the worst we've seen of Lucas Giolito. And I want to give myself some credit, Johnny. I want to give myself some credit right here, right now. I did not get in Jordan Lazowski's replies after that last start. So I want to give myself just a little bit of credit. I didn't even get a pat on the back from Jordan, but Jesus, man. I'm growing up just a little bit.
You're showing some restraint, so that's good. That's good in your fandom and your friendship. So I love to see that from you, Tony. I'm not too concerned about the last outing. That's just one that you flushed. That was a shit fucking end of the series. They got on him early. They were all over him. Detroit Tigers are not the Boston Red Sox. Let's remember that the Red Sox are off to a hot start and they have a decent lineup. They have some mashers in that lineup. So, and they were able to string together a bunch of hits, and sometimes it just don't go your way. I'm just more concerned. I don't know. I haven't seen the finger. So that's why that's where tinfoil hat time comes from. Yep. That's the thing that I would think would affect him, if anything. So.
And this was not pre-planned. I want to let all the listeners know that tinfoil hat time just came out of nowhere there. That was great. I love that, Johnny. We're rolling right now. We're on a win streak right here at Sox on Tap.
Yeah, no, we are. A few more since we're on Sunday Fun Day, man. Let's keep it rolling. Some just funny notes from today's game. Steve Stone with an absolute savage line here. He says, this is in the second inning, bottom of the second inning, when the White Sox are already scored in the first and stringing together some runs, getting some scoring chances here. Steve Stone says, Arihara doesn't have good stuff today at all, but at least he's making up for it by working very slowly. That is the perfect, sarcastic, comment that, they have to fill time when guys are working slow like that. So I love that he kind of tied that all together. I just thought it was hilarious. I got a good laugh. I don't know about you.
I want to comment on that just from a different perspective, Johnny. Do you remember the White Sox stigma around facing pitchers for the first time that they've never seen? We used to have such a problem with it. The way they came out today in the ball game and just, faced first time pitching, that has been a problem for them for what feels like forever. And to be able to put up an offensive showing like that today, we're changing a lot of those that's so White Sox stigmas as we go. And that's something that I really like seeing. So besides the funny comment, that was really cool to see. We're changing some of those trends, those different things. The next one that I want to see happen is a West Coast fucking win streak.
Yeah, that would be big. We obviously did not have a good go of it in Los Angeles to open the season, and then Seattle. You would have liked to sweep that against the Mariners team, but they're another team too that's kind of randomly hot early on. I don't think that's sustainable, but either way, they White Sox should have swept that series. Let's be honest. We're thinking back of that game, so yeah, we do need to break that West Coast swing. But I do like what you mentioned about the seeing a pitcher for the first time, that kind of stuff, because like you said, just kind of a stigma. And I don't have the stats to go and back it up, but it just felt like it,
No, I mean, it was something that Hawk Harrelson even talked about for a long time. It just feels like my entire life, there's always been this thing. The Sox are facing a pitcher for the first time. And as a sports bettor, you would normally want to go and follow those types of trends. It's the first time they're seeing this guy, or it's his first time up. They're going to be cold. I'm not even talking about past White Sox teams in the 90s or early 2000s or anything. This creeped up into Jose Abreu's time with the White Sox. This has always been a problem for them. And again, don't have the stats to back it up at the top of my screen right here. But you're correct, man. It's good to see those trends kind of change as the team grows and becomes a force in the American League.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Tony. So last little thing that I have here is predictions. I kind of want to get some predictions that we got to do stick to click for this upcoming Tigers, the Tuesday game. But overall series, I think I would be okay with 2 of 3, but you really want the sweep and continue this momentum. So what do you think? I think they will sweep this thing.
I think that this is a very sweepable series, Johnny. The Detroit Tigers come into town. You just swept the Texas Rangers. The White Sox are riding an all-time high. You've seen them win games with the offense. You've seen them win games with the pitching. You've seen just almost the complete package of a winning baseball team here over the last series. No reason that you shouldn't beat the Detroit Tigers 3 games in a row here and continue this thing on. I liked what you said earlier. We're building that little wall up against that 500. We're creating some separation from that what seemed like an insurmountable threshold for this team. I'd like to see them get 5, 6, 7 games above 500 as we enter May. I think that, we've talked about it. You can't win the division in April, but you can certainly lose it. Mm-hmm. And, hovering around 500 and not, coming out there and making a statement, the Minnesota Twins, I guess, would be the, prime candidate to unseat the White Sox as like the favorite. Or maybe the Minnesota Twins are still the favorite if you look nationally. We should get like Justin Havens or somebody back on here to talk about, national White Sox perspective. But really, Johnny, let's set ourselves up in the best position to go into May with the biggest amount of wins that we can have above 500. That's the key here.
Yeah, so you use the stretch of playing inferior opponents. That's just what they are, and the Rangers and the Tigers, and use it as a springboard. Your trampoline that you jump and you don't cue up. Boston's don't look back right now. Like that. That's what I want to do. Don't look back on 500.
I love it. If we were at the bar, Johnny, that would be on the touch tunes right now because I know DJ Johnny Nani would have that on.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's about all I got from the kind of overall series. But let's get pick to click here. I'm still in hockey mode a little bit.
Still in hockey mode.
Pick to click for Tuesday.
Pick to click for Tuesday, man. I want to go with Nick Madrigal because he's got the hot bat. He's got the hot bat. I don't think I've ever picked Nick Madrigal before. Maybe you go back and pull the tapes, but will he hit a home run at some point here? Can we get the wind behind him?
Ooh, yeah. We'd have to get the weather guy on here closer to those times and get the full wind report if we can get Nicky Sticks.
He needs all the help he can get, but he's roping the ball right now.
Yeah.
He's hitting gaps. He's finding gaps. If there's a chance, I wanted to see it in Fenway. I thought that would have been a spot for him if you just hit rope down the right field line, maybe 300. That can get out, but. I don't know if he hits the home run, but he's going to continue to be a catalyst in this offense as long as he's hot. Johnny, just like you, I think have been really hard on Nick Madrigal. And I love when players prove me wrong. Mm-hmm. I think you do too. And I want to see him continue to succeed. So I'm going to go ride Nick Madrigal because he's been an impact guy.
Yeah, I like it. He's hot. He's hot. You gotta love a guy. Ride the hot hand, ride the hot stick, whatever whatever it is, however the cliche goes, whatever you want to say. That's what Nick Madrigal is right now. Don't know if we'll get the homer, but either way, I could see a multi-hit performance. Another guy I'm looking for a multi-hit performance from today. It's funny to say that it seems like a quiet day for Tim Anderson, even though he still had 1 hit, scored a run, an RBI, walked once too. I want to see multi-hit game. I think it's very attainable against the Tigers for Tim Anderson. Straw that stirs the drink.
I love it, Johnny. And that's one thing you hinted on just there. I don't think you went fully into it, but that's the coolest part about watching this team right now. Think back to all the teams that you've watched over the last 5 years. And a 2-hit day for somebody would be man, we'd be talking on this postgame show about oh man, they showed up today. There's 2-hit performances that are going to get overlooked by other players who've just had better games than that. And that just speaks volumes to me again about how talented this team is.
It's like having 2 leadoff guys with those guys, because Nick Madrigal, when Tim was out, we did see him moved up there a little bit, but having him at the bottom there, it's just such a nice flip over to the lineup. And, wherever you want to place him, it's always good to have a consistent hitter there. And then obviously Tim Anderson does what Tim Anderson does up at the top. So great 1-2 punch there with those 2 gentlemen that we just discussed as our picks to click for Tuesday evening. So plans for this week, I will be out at the ballpark Wednesday night. So if you're around, say hi. I'll be there. So probably up in 500 level down to the third base line. But that's just the plan for this week. You plan on getting out at all?
TBD, Johnny, my favorite player. We'll see what happens, but might try and make one more game before the Sox leave town. Don't know if it's going to be the Tigers series or something towards the weekend. We'll see what happens, but hopefully try and get back out to the ballpark maybe one more time before they ship on off.
Yeah, for sure. I always like to try and catch it, when they're going to be going on a road trip then after that to close out the 9-game homestand. I'd like to get to that Sunday game a week from today against Cleveland Indians. But we'll see. Don't have those locked in yet, but we shall see how the week plays out. Wednesday night, though, we'll be there. So hopefully
Sunday games, Johnny, man. Like I just missed the tailgate scene in Lot B because I feel like we've grilled some great burgers.
We have.
And brats and whatnot on Sundays at the ballpark before the Sox take off. I can't wait to get back to that with you.
Yeah, for sure. Weather should be trending up and up. So like you mentioned, 80 degrees on Tuesday. So that's going to be nice. Kind of like, first taste of summer a little bit. So always nice, synonymous with baseball. So that's about all I got. Final thoughts, then we can wrap this thing up.
Final thoughts, man. Win streaks are cool and tough. We talk about this over and over again. Let's continue that ride. Let's continue the winning streak, Johnny. Find ways to win ball games. Continue to do what you're doing. And I think everything's going to be all right. This is the start of a very fun summer on the south side of Chicago.
Yeah, most definitely. I'll just go to a line that I mentioned earlier. Don't look back, baby. We got that 3-game cushion now, over 500. Let's keep hammering that thing home. Keep getting that, kind of differential widened. So keep staying above and keep beating these teams that you need to beat. Always important. So it's all about all I've got here. Once again, Sox on Tap is presented by OnTap Sportsnet. So go to ontapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Follow us on Twitter at Sox on Tap and at OnTap Sportsnet. Go shop at Grandstand for all your White Sox needs. Located right by the ballpark. Shop online at grandstandsox.com and follow them on social media at Grandstand Sox. So, Tony, I only got 3 words left. White Sox forever.
White Sox forever, Johnny.